What is up, guys? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. A little nighttime live broadcast. Again, hello, everybody. Welcome. Really going to talk about these cell towers. Got the complete cell tower map. In fact, a little drive down 95 to show you the one cell tower. I mean, there's hardly any cell towers. Again, hello, everybody. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. What is it, Wednesday night? Perfect. Again, a little late night. Let's pull up a couple things here. First, let's go ahead and show you a video. Again, I want to thank all the subscribers, all the members, all the moderators. Thank you for being here, dipping in, catching a little late night. This is just a little deeper of a dive so you guys can just see just a couple different things. All right, first up. Let's take a look here. What you're looking at is, okay, so this green bands 2, 4, 5, 12, 14, 30, 66. A tower, and then the 424006 bands 1266, a tower. And well, I'll show you guys this first. In Moscow, this is the two closest towers. You got this one right here, Taylor and what is it, Washington, and one this is the one I believe over here to the right, that their house, that's the tower that would ping off of for their house over. That's what I believe. Again, when stuff is busy, things can bounce. So, but there's a closer look at just, here you go. Those are the two closest towers to 1122 King. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So you guys might notice this like green little outline here. That's kind of what the PCA looks like. Okay. We'll see where it says Genesee over here, and there's like that green tower. That's the tower that I believe it pinged off of for when they were saying in the PCA, you know, when it's saying that it's heading towards, not heading towards, but actually when it's saying that it's in, the phone's in Genesee's heading then to Uniontown. Okay. But this is something that's interesting to me. Is not that one. Where is that other one? There we go. Okay. Take a look at this. This is the only cell tower that I believe could be used for them to be saying what they're saying in the PCA. So let me grab this so I can say it verbatim. But the problem is the timing. When he turns his phone on at 4:48 allegedly, and it, pings. It is, those of you guys that are following on this in your packet, right here. Okay. It's page 13. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho. They can't believe that they're saying Blaine, but whatever. Blaine has like, it's an unincorporated little area with like 1,300 people, just so you guys know that. So here we go. Let me go back to be able to zoom this in for you guys. Truth and Transparency was on 95 today and has video of driving and gonna show you guys what the area looks like, where this road is right here, and the cell tower that's right there. That's the only possible cell tower that you could hit off of to even remotely say that he would be, in this area, or at least his phone. The issue though is that when I pull up the map to how long it would take to then get there, you guys, that's a 16-minute drive. Okay, so when you do your math, if you leave out at 4:20 and you add 16 minutes, right? 4:36 a.m. is where you would be, like right in this area at this road and it intersects at 95. And that's only it's a 16-minute drive, it's 7.1 miles, 16 minutes. The speed is 60 miles an hour on this road. And let me pull it up on another sheet so you could even see it clearer. There you go. I'll blow that up a little bit. Okay. So see that road right there? You had it on the other map. Okay. Right past it right here, that's where that little tower is. It's up like on a hill too. You guys are going to see it because I have the video of it. But this would still put you, before Genesee's down here. But guys, the issue is that we have to ask ourselves this. Let's say the guy is Brian Kohlberger, okay? You just stabbed 4 people. You are completely bloody. Your shoes, your gloves, whatever it is that you're wearing. If you're wearing a suit that, is like a hazmat suit, whatever it is that you are wearing, it is covered in blood. Okay? You leave the house, then you get to your vehicle. What are you going to do? You can't just get in your car all bloody. I mean, you can. I mean, do you think that he had his car all wrapped in plastic? Or did he take off everything, put it in like a garbage bag and put it in the trunk? Now let me go one step further. When you would have been leaving the home, you would have known right away that you had your knife and that your knife was not in your sheath, right? So you would have known immediately. And when you walking through the house with just your knife, okay, then when you decided, okay, I'm going to put my knife away. I'm going to go one step further. I believe that there were literally minimal defense wounds, if not any, upstairs. But yet that's where the sheath was found. You would think that would be caused because of a struggle and somehow it came off like a belt loop or something like of that nature, right? But yet there was no struggle, in my opinion, upstairs because I believe that they were sleeping. But now you put Xana in Ethan's room, and that's where, you know, um, I think somebody used the quote that people went to war down on the second floor. Okay. Um, and yet nothing was ripped off or whatever. But in a situation where you would know when you were leaving at some point before you got to your vehicle that you just had this bloody knife that you have what, like out holding it out while you're walking? I mean, and but yet it has blood all over it. But like if you're walking and you're swaying your arms in any type of way, then that'd be like, you know, trail of blood, right? So when did all of this happen? Of making sure you get in a vehicle unseen, get out of the vehicle unseen. Now you have all this blood that's all over you. And then what do you do with it? But yet you are in and out of that house in like, you know, lickety split. And you get in your vehicle and you leave. And now you're driving allegedly at this fast rate of speed, which there's cops always all around there. I mean, I think the last thing you'd want to do is be speeding, but whatever. And you head on out and you get on 95 and here you come. And if you take this route and you just keep going, the tower that you would actually hit at 448 would not be this Blaine, this tower right here. I don't know if it's Eden Road, Ede Road, Ede Road, whatever you want to call it. All my people from Moscow help me out. But you would be further than that unless you stopped. Wait till you see you just pull off the side of the road. Wait till you see this. I mean, there's nothing around here. You have if he really has the vision that he says that he has, and he was driving all over like white snow, dark in rural Idaho over here. I mean, this isn't like you're on the freeway in the city. That's really not what like any of this is. So I really wanted to get like a good feel for everything. So I'm going to pull up this video so you can kind of see like what we're dealing with. This is a 2-lane highway. Yes, exactly. This tower, in my opinion, okay, wouldn't pick him up. This isn't the tower that would pick you up. The tower that would pick him up if and in fact his phone comes on at 4:48. Okay, guys, that's 28 minutes. 28 minutes. And where he would be, but then now again, this is a rural area. Okay. But where I think it even gets trickier is them being able to say this route that he went. Like, how do you know that he didn't cross over, you know, at this point or that point? I'm going to show you guys here, but it's very, very, you know, that this is going to be very, very hard, I think. Let's see. Okay. So as you can see, when you pass that road, this is where that tower is. Now take a look at this. See this right down here, bands 2, 12, 1466, 420521. That's where, so you could be past it. I mean, what towers are going to hit off between 424006 and 420521? You could be anywhere in between that. And that's what someone's going to be testifying to, as to how far you can be away from this and be utilizing that tower. So when you want to talk about triangulation in this area, I mean, you could be pretty far from the tower that you're using. So then down here where it says 424001, okay? Because I said in the PCA, they say that it is between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m. The phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with 8458 phone traveling south on State Highway 95 to Genesee, Idaho, then traveling west towards Union, and then back into Pullman. At approximately 5:30 a.m., the phone is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman and consistent with the phone traveling back to the Kohlberger residence. Well, we're going to get to that, but so this is 95. So you're traveling on this green line here. And then when you're actually heading back to go north, that's actually 195. It's 195 to go back. This is not all just like a loop of 95. But it's interesting to me that when you're in the middle of traveling from Union, let me go back to, I do see, okay, so look at tower 424001, and then all the way like to 424286, or you have to go even, I mean, there's nothing over on this way. I mean, how long would you be on the 424001? Like, this is not GPS. So I just feel like in order for them to say what they're saying in this PCA, this would have had to pass off by at least 3 towers. It would have went from the 424006, then to the 420521, then to the 424001. Those 3 have to activate, in my opinion, for you to even remotely be able to write what you did in the PCA. Because you can't just stay on 424006 and say that the car's even remotely moving. Like, you have to be hitting and peeing off of towers. I'm trying to, bear with me, break it down as best as I can. And then you have to put in, now we're going to talk about the time. So if you're leaving at 4:20, how long it takes to make this loop, no stops, check it out. So I have the 1122 King. Then I have, the reason I put Sand Road in there is so that it takes me this way. Then I'm just going to call it Ed Road because I think it's funny, but then your Genesee, then your Uniontown, and now I'm going to put in 1300 Johnson Road because that's the first camera that picks up this white Elantra, this sedan. Okay. So driving from King Road and leaving at 4:20 in the morning and literally getting in the vehicle and not stopping once and going the speed limit. This path to get to the first spot where he is, or this car is seen on camera, then again, it's 1 hour and 5 minutes. Okay. 1 hour and 5 minutes. How's that? Can everybody see? So when you take 420 and you add 1 hour and 5 minutes, okay, you're going to get to 525, right? 525. And it's like, hot damn. Like, that's like on the money when, now listen to the PCA. At approximately, let's see where it says it. Now, it says the 8458 phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Elantra that is observed traveling north on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Wait, traveling north on Stadium Drive. Well, let me put Stadium Drive in now. Okay, Stadium Drive. Let's change this up a little bit. Okay. So we go back to, let me change this up. Let me actually just change this to Stadium Drive. One hour and 7 minutes. So now we're at 5:27 a.m. 4:20 left out of there. 5:27 a.m. It is literally like money. That is without stopping. That is no stopping whatsoever. That drive is exactly 1 hour and 7 minutes. Okay. This is, you guys, that's not stopping. That is not, that's not stopping. Well, I just proved it 2 minutes ago when I said that, listen, if he didn't stop, how is he at 4:48 a.m. on the other tower, the tower that you would be at after only traveling like 16 minutes? 28 minutes, you would be on the Genesee tower. If you travel and you leave 1122 King Road and you just travel to, check this out, just to Genesee, here you go. So take that out. Take that out. Take 19 minutes. 19 minutes to get to that point. Do you understand? In the PCA, when they say it's actually very, very interesting how they word it. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesee. North of Genesee. That means that it's on the other side. That means it's hitting off of a tower. It's not hitting off of the Genesee Tower. Okay? That means that you have to push the car back. The car can't even be where I'm at right now because it's not hitting off that tower. But then they're going to sit there and argue and say, oh, that tower was busy, so it bumped it. No, it's just going to be all, this is somebody looking at a map. This is insanity is what this is. This is just pure insanity. But you can't be, so this would only take you 19 minutes to get to that point. Okay. So when you take your pen and you add 4:20 a.m. and you add 19 minutes, okay, that's 4:39 a.m. At 4:48 a.m., he is not even to the point, like that's going to be in another 9 minutes, okay? And he's not even to this, he's not even over here yet. This whole loop takes you 1 hour and 7 minutes. But now if we back up the time, because at 4:48, whatever tower he's hitting off of, which is not to this point right here, it's back further. I believe that you're going to have to add on 8 minutes from at least from the point of, you're going to have to triangulate, okay, he's hitting off that tower, where could he be? And when you talk about where you could be and you talk about triangulation, then that's where they're going to get him, where they're going to be able to say that, okay, so he could be all the way over there. So he could be all the way over there. He could be 30 miles either way of that. He could be 20 miles either way of that. He could be 10 miles. It's gonna blow up. Triangulation is a lot harder in areas like this. Yep, this is where I got lost on the time. So again, guys, all I'm doing is this is just simple math. This is just simple math. This whole route to drive it, no stopping, get in your car and you drive it. 1 hour and 7 minutes. Okay, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Now, if you think that he just was driving along, rolled down the window, and whipped out the knife and threw it out the window while he was driving, and once again, no blood, they have his vehicle, we'll wait and see what happens. Where did he put this, the clothes that he was wearing, the shoes that he was wearing, this suit, if you think that he was wearing, some hazmat outfit, where is all of this stuff? So it's, when you actually talk about all of this, and you talk it out, you want to know what else I think is wild? Ready for this? So let me get this straight. Brian drove all over to confuse everybody, when you go and look at the beginning of this trip at 2:48, 2:47 a.m. shutting off his phone. Then he's seen on a camera at 2:53, but he's seen in the same area at, or I'm sorry, at 44. Then he's seen on the same camera, 2:53, or the same area. It's like Brian didn't travel anywhere, but he's just staying in the same spot for 9 minutes. Then the amount of time that it would only take to get from that area where he was, to get on over to Moscow he would have been there at 3:15. Okay. But he's not seen on the King, area cameras by that residence until 3:29. then he was just looping around all over, right? But you're going to sit here and tell me that when he was done and left out of there, he took in a complete straight shot, didn't make, didn't pull off anywhere to just like, kill time. This loop is to a T on how long it would take you. I mean, you guys understand that, right? This 1300 Johnson Avenue Jehovah Witness camera. You guys do know that's a Jehovah Witness camera that is producing the camera footage for the 1300 Johnson Ave sighting. I wonder how Christ Church feels about that. But then if you actually break it down even more, go look at the camera on Johnson, 1300 Johnson. It has, let's see. What page is that on? Mind you, all these cameras and none of them can spot anybody coming in or out of this car. It's crazy. What is the actual time? I think it's like 5:26. And CAST is totally not even reliable. Like they're just, I don't know how this is going to fly. There's court cases out there right now where they got blown up in court. So, also that next day, at approximately 12:49 p.m., the interior surveillance camera showed Kohlberger walk through the store, purchase unknown items at the checkout, and leave at approximately 1:04 p.m. I'm curious to know if they could get a close-up enough shot to see his hands. I'm telling you, whatever hand I believe would be all bruised. So yeah, now let me put my take on this. Ready? If you're selling drugs, if you're buying drugs, if you're doing drugs with people, okay, and you need to, or you're buying or you're meeting up with friends to go then do something, yada, yada, yada. There's numerous reasons why you would shut your phone off. There's, if you're buying drugs, if you're selling drugs. So is it possible that Brian drove and picked somebody up to then drive out and meet them? Like, so if Brian left Pullman, went over there, picked up a couple people, and then drove out to arrange a pickup and a swap of money for drugs. And then came on back. Is that possible? Did you guys know that Harsh's dad was a professor? You guys know that? Harsh was a professor at WSU. I could see Brian having a nice little conversation with Harsh about, oh man, your dad's a professor? No way. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm a TA, da da da, blah, blah, blah. Right? Yeah, he's retired. Oh yeah, why don't you come over and meet my dad? Talk to him, you know, get the ins and outs of who's a real big prick and who's cool and, how everything works. Oh yeah, let's go. Like, yeah, I'll go out and let's go to your dad. Let's go to your parents' house. Yeah, you got to come out and talk to my dad, man. You guys can talk about a bunch of stuff. Like, don't you think Brian would be interested if he ever crossed paths with that dude and they're talking and whatever, and he says, oh, you do know that this Harsh kid had another apartment over basically on the Pullman campus. You do know that he's been in trouble before for, having a bunch of substances in his possession with other people in a vehicle, okay, and getting pulled over for, going like 5 miles over the speed limit or riding in a lane that you're not supposed to be riding in and then gets popped with all this stuff. So that's just what happens. The other thing, I want to show you guys an article, or maybe I'll just read it. But it was very interesting because I wanted to look up stuff about how the Idaho State Police, they don't put their policies out there for confidential informants and stuff like that. They don't go ahead and go out there and look for it, and they don't disclose their policies about informants. Okay. But I read this article today, and it was very, very interesting, to the point that it was how they busted a guy and another guy driving from Idaho to Los Angeles to pick up, a bunch of pills and drugs and all whatever, and then come back. And this is how this went down. I'm going to read it for you. I'll even show it, show you guys the clip. But it's from the Idaho State Journal. Is it Pocatello? 2 men from Pocatello were arrested and charged with felony meth trafficking in separate incidences last week, in which nearly 300 grams of the narcotic was seized, according to police and court records. This was July 25th, 2022. Listen to this. This is really important. The first incident involves Isaac Cesar Reyes, 25, facing charges of felony trafficking and methamphetamine. And then Kiana Foster, 22, same area, being charged with felony possession of a controlled substance, meth. The incident began to unfold on Thursday when an anonymous person called Idaho State Police to report that Reyes was on his way to California to pick up a large quantity of fentanyl pills, according to an Idaho State Police report obtained by the Idaho State Journal on Monday. The caller provided a phone number for Ray's, and police were able to obtain a search warrant to ping Ray's phone, police said. Idaho State Police troopers pinged his phone on Thursday and learned he was in the Los Angeles area, according to the police report. Troopers around 6 a.m. Saturday pinged the phone again, and it showed that Ray's was traveling northbound on Interstate 15 from Los Angeles heading towards Idaho, police said. Around 4:23 p.m. Saturday, the ping showed that Ray's phone was still heading northbound and crossing the Idaho-Utah border, said police. Adding that around 5:26 p.m., a trooper stopped a silver 2017 Honda Accord with a temporary California license plate for tint that was too dark near the Pocatello Creek Road exit on Interstate 15. Ray's phone was pinged and shown to be inside the car, police said. Immediately upon stopping the vehicle and making contact with the occupants, officers observed a strong odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle, police said. The trooper requested the car pull over into the parking lot of a gas station, and the occupants were ordered out of the car. Ray's was identified as a back passenger in the vehicle, and Foster was sitting in the front passenger seat, police said. He was placed in handcuffs and detained for an outstanding warrant in Bingham County, and officers searched the car according to the police report. As a result of the search, officers located a large plastic bag with rubber bands around it that contained 201.5 grams of meth, and the dude admitted that the bag belonged to him. Police also located a pink and white beach bag that contained a coin purse. Inside the purse, officers located another 15.3 grams of meth and drug paraphernalia, and Foster admitted the beach bag was hers, police added. Both Ray's and Foster were arrested. So this is about a process, what I just read to you guys. Somebody called in and said, hey, this is what's going down. Here's the phone number of the person that is going to be doing X, Y, and Z. Go and ping the phone, and you'll see it move along this pattern, this path of travel from. Now, who do you think, what type of a person would call in and say that? Who would even know that? That's an informant. That's an informant. Who could possibly tip somebody off like that? You would have to know everything. You'd have to know what was going down to ever be able to make that call. And to get creative on how to pull somebody over. Oh, the tint. Because guess what? That wasn't Ray's car. He was the back passenger. It's not his car. But guess what? His phone was on, and they got a search warrant to be able to ping it based off of the information that this person called in with. Now that's how Idaho State Police work. So now think about everything that we're talking about with this this PCA. I was like, Jesus, this PCA, interesting. This PCA is working just like how the Idaho State Police work when they deal with drug busts. I thought it was very interesting. That was July 25th, 2022. That was just before, July 25th, 2022 was that write-up. I've been saying Lana's got the best comments in chat. I find out so much. All right, guys, I'm looking at chat now. What's up? What do you guys think so far? Let's see what you got in chat. I'm not sure what he drives. Bon says, yeah, you can have, yeah, you can. I have 2 phone numbers on one phone with all those apps. Chat just got camera shy. Okay, now we're going to talk about this. At 4:12 a.m. Okay, 4:12 a.m. Xana comments on TikTok and writes "Queen." What is up, Kevin? Thank you for the new membership. Also, I missed somebody up there. Welcome to the fam. 4:12. There was a comment made from Xana using her TikTok on somebody's TikTok. So, and she wrote the word "queen." And what it is when someone says "queen," it's like you're the bomb, like queen. Like it's just whatever the person would have been doing. It's just like, oh, you're the queen, you're the shit, you're the slam. Okay. But that's at 4:12 a.m., guys. Okay. I don't think that she would be commenting on her phone using her TikTok, not just watching it or that the app was running. This is actually, writing, typing. Okay. And in the PCA, they actually reference the whole TikTok. All right. And they reference the 412. They reference it. Thank you. So in the PCA, they reference Xana being on TikTok at 412. Well, yeah, she was actually physically on it. Like she actually just wrote a comment. Okay. And so, guys, think about this. This killer called Brian, allegedly, hasn't gotten to Ethan and Xana yet. Because I can't imagine Xana writing "Queen" while watching TikTok while her boyfriend is getting stabbed to death right in front of her. Okay. So at 4:12 a.m., it would be common sense and logical to assume that since Xana wrote, "Queen" and they put it in the PCA that Xana was on TikTok, that they were alive. Now, this whole thud at 4:17 and then having to drive out, okay, by 4:20. Now, I want you guys to truly think, because this is just going to take a little bit of thinking, just a little bit of thinking. Ready? 404 gets into the area of being able to be on camera. Okay. Goes all the way down to the Queen 500, number 52. It turns around, comes back, tries to park in front of the house, then tries to turn around, then continues on and does a 3-point turn, then comes back up, then the car just disappears. How long do you think that would take to do what this is saying? I think that could take anywhere between 1 to 3 to 4 minutes. Then you have to get out of the vehicle. Then you have to walk, okay, from wherever it is that you put this vehicle. And then you have to get in. Okay, now we're going to do this. 4 o'clock, Xana has to get out of the room, or Ethan, depending on who went downstairs to get the DoorDash. Okay. So they come out of the room, one of them, maybe both of them, come back, go down, come back upstairs. Do they tell the DoorDash, hey, walk around back and put it at this? No, I'm sorry, just don't think that's going to happen. I would tell, if I was a DoorDash I would tell that person to go piss off, not walking around back of your house. So you have Dylan in the room, in the bedroom on the second floor, and they go downstairs, get the DoorDash, come back up. Okay. Then eating your food. Then now you have allegedly, possibly, Xana or Ethan then has to, did they leave the room to go take the food out and throw it, in the kitchen somewhere? Where was that bag found? Where was her food found? Curious to know what they ordered. Did they order for one person or two people? Did they order for 3 people? Did they order for 4 people? But check this out. They're awake. Dylan's allegedly now sleeping. Okay. And the person comes into the slider, missing the DoorDash, missing Ethan or Xana going, to the kitchen, possibly to put that away, throw it away, place it over there. Maybe they didn't even do that. The killer then goes up the stairs, passing the bedroom the first time, up the stairs. Okay. Never mentions of any stairs in the PCA, at least. We'll see if it comes out in court. And then pops up and wakes up, they say, at 4 o'clock. At approximately 4 o'clock, wakes up because Dylan hears Kaylee playing with her dog, she thought. Well, what was possibly going on at 4 o'clock? Because that car wasn't even on King. It wasn't even on a camera until 4:04. So approximately at 4 o'clock. I mean, have you guys ever really thought about this timeline that we're supposedly supposed to believe? At 4 a.m., she thought what she heard was Kaylee playing with her dog. A short time later, DM said that she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." But doesn't hear anybody go upstairs. Doesn't hear anybody come downstairs. But this is all at 4 o'clock. By my math skills, the killer, if it's the white Elantra, is not possible to be in that house until at least 4:08. And that's being kind. So what's going on upstairs at 4 o'clock? Because the killer, according to them, isn't even in the house yet. Then a review of records obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone showed that it could have also actually been Xana that she heard, because her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. These aren't people that are in their bed. These are people that just ordered DoorDash and are eating and are kicking it, okay? These aren't people that are in their beds and sleeping and the lights are all off. That's not what this is. So, DM stated that she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. There's someone here. She looks out her bed. There's people there all the time. There's people there all the time. And what do you mean she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything? What do you mean? When you look out your bedroom, so you opened the door. So then now you're making noise. So now Dylan's making noise of opening up her bedroom door, which that's going to make a noise. And then when you close it, that's also going to make a noise. And this again would have been at what time? Then when she heard what she thought was crying, coming from Xana's room, DM then said she heard a male's voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Which had to be when? After 4:12. So when you got up at 4:00, because she was awoken. Listen to this. This is crazy. She was woken at 4 a.m. Well, you were just using your Visco or whatever it's called at 3:33 posting pictures online. And that's not even to say what else you were doing past that point. But at least at 3:33 a.m., I can prove that she was posting on the internet. And then what are you using to associate 4 a.m. with when you heard a dog and Kaylee playing with her dog? Because she's going to be asked on the stand, did Kaylee normally play with her dog at 4 a.m.? Was that something normal? Why did you think that it was the dog? Did you hear barking? But Kaylee went upstairs at 2 a.m., her and Maddie, and then she just starts playing with her dog at 4. But nobody's in the house yet, guys. It's impossible for anybody to be in that house, right? Because the white Elantra killed everybody. So the white Elantra's not there until 4:05 or 4:04, and then by the time it parks and walks in, and so when you opened up the door after you heard this at 4:00, there was also a chance that when you opened up that door that you would have saw somebody, because the killer has to walk right basically there. So think about this. Dylan opens the door 3 times and never once sees Xana or Ethan or the killer up until the last time. And once again, I have to ask this question. Who opens up a door to not then go and do something? Like, who doesn't yell to their roommates, like, "What are you guys doing? What the hell's going on?" Let me ask Chad a question. I posted it today. Okay. I posted it today and I said, when you go to bed at night, do you sleep with the lights on or do you sleep with the lights off? I did a poll and I think like 1,000 of you guys attempted to partake. And, like when you go to sleep, do you have the lights off? Do you have the lights on? If you're not sleeping yet, do you have your bedroom light on? Off. I sleep with the lights off. Lights off. TV on. Off. I leave my TV on all night. Xana and Ethan were alive at 4:12. So that means if at 4:00 she heard whatever she heard upstairs, allegedly at 4:00, the killer was upstairs from 4 to 4:12, at least. What? No, I thought what I heard was this. I thought what I heard was that. Like, wait, what? So I want to throw you guys some hypothetical questions. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Yeah, it's approximately, exactly. Where is it coming from? So let's see what I have here. First question. No one's talked about it yet. Dylan, did you take a polygraph? Bethany, did you take a polygraph? Were you asked to take a polygraph? Mm-mm, mm-mm. Dylan, Bethany, do you guys have cars? Where were your guys' cars parked that night? Where do you guys normally park? How often did Ethan spend the night? How often did Ethan be there during the day? Have you ever hung out with Ethan? How many conversations have you think you've had with Ethan? Would you be able to like spot Ethan's voice? So was it Ethan's voice that you heard say, "I'm here to help you"? How do you normally lock up at night? How do you know that everybody was in their rooms at 4 and home by 2? Did you physically see Kaylee and Maddie that night? Did you talk to them? What time did they go upstairs? Was anybody with them? Who else was over that night? The only person that we don't know about, we know that Bethany saw Ethan and Xana at Sigma Chi. We know that the girls were at the corner club, but where was Dylan that night? She was said to not be with anybody either. You know, everybody's out by themselves. But yet, Bethany and Dylan both get back at 1 a.m. at the same time. And then how would you know that Ethan and Xana were still at Sigma Chi if Bethany and Dylan got home at 1 a.m.? How would you know that they were still at Sigma Chi until 1:45? Or is that just a typo? Did you guys normally have overnight guests? What did you guys use the downstairs other bedroom for? Was there supposed to be somebody else living there? Who were you interviewed by? What days were your interviews on? Did you ever say that your bedroom was on the first level? Did you ever tell the police that? Do you know who would possibly ever want to hurt you or your roommates? How are you paying for school? Do you have a job? Do you have a bank account? Are you on the lease on the house? When did you move into the house? Where did you live before you lived in this house? Were you escorted to the hospital when 911 arrived and the EMTs? Did you go to the hospital? Were you checked? Did you use your phone after 4:15 a.m.? Do you guys have any house rules? Do you guys have any drugs in the house? Do you know if anyone was selling drugs? Do you know if anybody was buying drugs? How do you pay for rent? Do you use any cash apps, applications to transfer money? PayPal? Did you see a therapist afterwards? When did you guys get your tattoos? Did you guys go together to get your tattoos? Do you take any sleeping aids? Who was your first phone call to? Who came over that morning? When you woke up in the morning, could you smell anything? Is it normal for people to be in your house with masks on? Was it like a ski mask? Was it a surgical mask, like a COVID mask? Did you see a knife? How did you notice the bushy eyebrows? Did you make contact? Were there any lights on? Was your light on in your room? Did you ever physically leave your room when you open up the door? How many people have keys to your apartment? How many people have the code, the house code number? Did you go to the police station right away? How were you transported to the police station? Were you separated when you made your witness statements? Who'd you give your first interview to? Were you interviewed by Idaho State Police? Were you interviewed by the FBI? What police officers? Do you recall the dates? Did you call any of Maddie's family? Did you call any of Kaylee's family? Did you call any of Xana's family? Did you call Ethan's brother or sister? Did they ask to take your clothing? Was your clothes processed? Was there any blood in your room? Did at any point in time you lawyer up? Was this ever a hostage situation? Was this ever a ransom? You posted a pic at 3:33 a.m. Why did you post that at 3:33 a.m.? That was from the Friday night before. It says that you had a +1. Do you have a boyfriend? Did your boyfriend know that you took a date to a formal? Was your boyfriend okay with that? Why didn't you take your boyfriend? Do you have any personal knowledge of why Maddie and Xana left the sorority? Do you have any personal knowledge of why Kaylee left the sorority? Do you have any personal knowledge of if any of your roommates were hooking up with anybody else? Someone planning on moving in when Kaylee was moving out? What did you use the first bedroom on the first floor for if it was not for a bedroom? Isn't it true that you took over Miss Simpson's bedroom when you moved into the 1122 King Road house? Isn't it true that you bought Simpson's furniture? Isn't it true that you bought Simpson out of her deposit on the house? So did you ever, in fact, sign a lease with 1122 King Road? Were you nervous to sign a lease? Did you not think that you'd be approved if you signed a lease? Who was the sixth roommate on the lease? How much was rent? Were you given a lineup? Were you asked to identify anybody out of a lineup? How many lineups were you given? Did you ever identify the defendant? How did you make that identification? What picture were you shown? Whose idea was it to say that you had a bedroom on the first floor? Did you ever tell the police that? How many versions of the story did you give? Have you ever heard Xana cry before? Was Xana normally a crier? Have you ever witnessed Ethan and Xana fighting before? Have you ever been in trouble with the law? Has your boyfriend ever visited you? How long have you been dating your boyfriend? Now let's take a look at your guys' questions. Throw some questions up. How much of a long face did you see? Because this bridge of his nose was waiting. Oh my gosh. And then the $1,000,000 question is why did you not call 911? Do you guys normally leave lights on in your house? Does any house rules? Can people just sleep over? So it went from hearing all this stuff, seeing a man in clad, then the house goes completely silent. You heard a bunch of noises, and all of a sudden, everything's silent after you see a man. And did you see a knife? No knife. Did you stick your head out? Did you step your feet out? How did somebody walk towards you if you're in your room? How can anybody walk towards you? The only way anybody could walk towards you if you're in your room is if they're coming from the kitchen, unless you physically step out of the bedroom that you're in, or that you literally throw your head out of. Were the lights on? How did you see the bushy eyebrows? The neon was on. What neon? Well, we leave all of our lights on, like our little lights, we light up the house. Like Xana had black lights in her room. What? Yeah. We're fun like that. Well, you have that huge back window in your what is it? In your bedroom, you have that huge back glass window. Did you see anybody walk past your window? Are you sure that you didn't wake up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.? Isn't it true that a bunch of guys come over your house in masks? Isn't it true that you put on masks and you take pictures and put them on the internet? Didn't you post on social media that night, you and your boyfriend in masks, and then remove them from social media? If you heard female voices and you thought it was Kaylee, but it could not have been Kaylee, so could there have been females in the house with the male? Could there have been multiple people in the house? You heard a female voice. You heard a male voice. Do you know what Ethan's voice sounds like? So it wasn't Ethan's voice. Does Xana normally cry? Do they fight? Did you have to go to the bathroom at all that night? Did you use the bathroom at all that night? Have you ever called 911 before? In any of your life? Have you ever called the police for help? Are you afraid of the police? Was there a house rule, no calling the police? What are your grades like? What are your roommates' grades like? Was anybody failing? How long have you known Brian Kohlberger? Have you ever seen him before? Have you ever seen him stalking your roommates or yourself or your house? Have you ever seen him at any parties? Has he ever been inside your home? Are you guys ready for when Dylan says that the person that she saw in that house is Brian Koberger? And then I'll never forget those eyes and bushes. Isn't it true that the Sigma Chi guys always play pranks and jokes on you guys, and you guys do the same thing back? Is that what you thought this was? Is that why you didn't call the police? So is it possible that the person that you saw with that mask on was a Sigma Chi guy? How do you know that the guy was 5'10"? How tall are you? How often do you travel to Boise? How do you get there? Have you ever been pulled over before? When was your phone Cellbrite dumped with all the data? Did they take it that day? Did they take your clothes? Did they process you for GSR or anything? And again, did they ask you to take a polygraph? Was anybody asked in this damn case to take a polygraph? Nobody's talking about that. What's up with that? You got to ask questions to throw them off. Dylan, what time did you go to the Sigma Chi house on Saturday night? 6 o'clock. Oh, so you were there too. Oh, I mean, no, I wasn't there. It's not about using it in the courtroom. It's just about questioning if that even like came up. Did anybody, was anybody asked, will you take a polygraph? I know that they're not admissible. It's about the purpose and, were you asked to take one? Just curious. Mac Pride says, my cousin is fat, but he's athletic. It's funny. Do you normally take a shower at night in the morning? Did anybody take a shower that night when they came home? Were you guys pushing weight out of the house? Have you ever witnessed anybody do a drug deal in your house? Have you ever bought drugs on campus? Have you ever been in trouble for buying drugs or selling drugs? Have you ever been in trouble for drinking and driving, smoking and flying? Have you ever been in the corner club? Have you ever drank in the corner club? Do you have a fake ID? Do y'all ever have house meetings? Who asked you to move in the house? How long have you known the girls that you live with? Mm. I'm wondering if that's going to come up about the Rambo style knife. Did you ever hear the dog barking that night? Stuff like that. Have you ever been to Brian Kohlberger's apartment? Have you ever been in Brian Kohlberger's car? Do you have any personal knowledge of if any of your roommates have been there? If any of your roommates have been in his car? Have you ever done drugs with Brian Kohlberger? Do you know Brian Kohlberger by a different name? Do you know what a phone is? Again, where did you park your vehicle that night? Where do you normally park your vehicle that night? Whose vehicle do you use? How many nights did Ethan normally stay there? Did your roommates ever stay at their boyfriends instead? When's the last time you had a house guest over? Where'd they sleep? Did you ask for witness protection? Did you think that the killer could possibly come for you? Were you ever scared of that? How many times did you meet with the prosecution to prep for court? Love it. Chad is bomb tonight. Y'all rock. Love Boston. Supports Atlanta. You called all your roommates except for Bethany that night. Why? You didn't think Bethany could have been harmed? You and Bethany are the only people still in sororities. Everybody else left, and they're all dead. When you picked out the bush brows, did you do that from license plate, like driver's license? Um, you said you would never forget those eyes and those bushes. Did you have any help with that lineup? So they didn't just show you eyebrows; they showed you like the actual like whole photograph of the person's face, right? You think if I was to give you, you know, a 6-pack of bush, a couple bushes, you'd be able to pick out the eyes and eyebrows? What date did you pick out the picture? Were you tested for any substances? Did you pass out when you called 911? Did you find the bodies? What did you immediately do? When you came out of your room, did you see any blood on the ground? Were you wearing shoes? Did you have socks on? Did you ever go upstairs? Did you see the dog? Did anybody try to open up your door that night? Was your bedroom door locked the whole time? Do you normally sleep with your bedroom door closed? When was the last time that Kaylee spent the night there before Friday night? Did you tamper with the scene? Did you dispose of anything in the house before the police arrived? Did you normally have a plus one? Was it your idea or Katie's idea? Did Bethany have a plus one? How did Maddie go? Did Xana go? Is the only way that Kaylee could attend if she was like a plus one? Was it invite only like that? Is your sorority accepting of same sex couples going to an event? Was there any problems that night? I agree there, Shannon. Lana, by morning, this dog would need to use the bathroom or eat, or he would be barking nonstop. He would have in bathroom been wanting out. Yes. Can you make this timeline make any sense? You didn't hear anything the rest of the night. How are you able to go back to sleep? When you open up the door, the first, the second, the third time, with the lights on, how do you normally lock the back slider? Why were the locks changed the week before on the front door? Would somebody not give back the keys? Did somebody have keys to your place that you did not want to have keys to your place? Isn't it true that you guys owed a shit ton of money to people? What? No. People owed us money. Why would people owe you guys money? Did any of you guys have OnlyFans? Have you been threatened? DoorDash can the DoorDash is for me in college areas. When you order it, it usually takes like a while for it to come. So placing an order at 3 a.m. and it coming at 4, that'll come out. I'm curious to know if who actually made the DoorDash. Mm. How did you pay for your tattoo? Do you know your neighbor called Mr. Harsh? Have you ever got high with him? Did he ever bring over any of his psychedelic um, drugs? Have you ever seen him juggle fire? Mm. Now, you said you thought everybody went to their rooms and went to sleep, or at least they were in their rooms. How did you know that? Were you the last one to go to bed? I didn't say that, Bethany did. Oh, so you didn't say the comment of everybody was home by 2 and everybody was at least in their bedrooms or sleeping by 4? I thought Bethany was on the first floor. I don't know. I may have said that. Well, yeah, like when I went to my room, there was nobody there. What do you mean nobody there? What do you mean when you went to your room? Were you guys all hanging out on the couch watching a movie? Were you guys playing beer pong in the living room? Look at all these pictures of these beer bottles and this beer pong table and flip cup. And did you guys normally have this place a mess like this? Got 4 girls living here, 5 girls. Did you guys have a maid? How'd you guys clean up? You guys take turns? You guys have chores? But no house rules? So if I wanted to throw a party right now, I could? Now, when you supplied alcohol, or was it always bring your own beer? So how did the 19-year-olds get booze? How did the 19-year-olds get drugs? Are you aware that people are saying this is a trap house? What is a trap house? Have you ever been in trouble with the law? Are you scared of the police? Are you scared of the Moscow Police Department? Why didn't you call them? Did you call any friends at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when you heard all of this? Instead of calling the police, maybe call like your friends, like, hey, you think somebody's in the house? Like, if you didn't want to call the police because you were scared because of the drugs or the drinking or the house being the way that it was, did you think maybe to call like Hunter J or, you know, any of the guy friends that you knew to come over and check it out? So, Dylan, you want us to believe that 4 people were brutally stabbed between the time frame of 4:08 and 4:17. and that 2 of your roommates were wide awake and you don't hear anybody screaming or calling for help or anything, versus the rest of the night until 11:52, 56 when the police were called? Well, yeah, because then I called all my roommates. I have the timestamp that I called everybody. Were you told to call everybody so that could be actually etched in stone here? Did anybody order you to call all the phones so they could have it on your phone like that? Anybody tell you to lie? Are you scared of anybody? Were you promised anything for your testimony? Did they fingerprint you? It definitely is hard to scream while you're fighting for your life, but if Ethan and Dan are both awake and somebody walks in that room and it's only one person and a knife, how are you able to control that room? The way that I see that that's possible is that if you were to grab one of them and hold a knife to their neck when they walked past you and then brought them into that room and said, "Don't say a word or I'm going to kill them. Give me what I came here for," something like along those lines, and give me your phone. That type of thing. So again, all of this happening in that time frame is, you know, I'm telling you, Anne's going to have her hands full with this though, because, you know, you don't know the circumstances. You don't, I mean, I've never been in a situation like that. But if they're used to those people and the fraternities and the sororities all playing jokes on each other and coming in there and, you know, being wild and like joking around with knives and, you know, scaring people and doing like that stuff, if that's something that goes on at that campus, like I don't know if it is. I see the weird stuff that people post and I think it's just like, wow. Either I'm just getting more vanilla by the day or these people are the most immature people I've ever seen in my life. It just, wow. Um, All Sane says, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" Well, it's sad. In all seriousness, these questions are definitely helpful for the prosecution. They need to be ready for anything that may be coming at them. Well, yeah, I get it. What do you think they're going to ask her? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be questioned this way. How do you think the cops are going to be questioned? You know how many pictures I have of people going in that home with no gloves on? Officer Smith, when did you say that you arrived again? Blaker and Payne, Officer Smith, everybody. Did you guys check the bedrooms of Dylan and Bethany and the other first floor? Were there beds made? Were those beds made? And what was in the first floor bedroom that nobody slept in? Were the lights on? Were they off? Was any TVs on? Did you fingerprint all the like the doorbell? What evidence proved that Dylan was actually home that early morning hours? And same with Bethany that night. So you pinged their phones, so they were using them during that time? How can you conclude that they were actually home? Did you ask them if they had any overnight guests? Were all of your body cams working? Did you ask Bethany how she could be home at 1 a.m. and know that Ethan and Xana stayed at Sigma Chi until 1:45? Also, Bethany and Dylan were said to be out at different places that night, and then they both arrived back at 1 a.m. at the same time. Do you know how they got out that night? Were they driving? Did they have a driver? Who were they with? How they leave to get somewhere and how they come home? Do they have vehicles? Where did they say that they parked them? Were you privy to know how Hoodie Guy was cleared? Did he offer DNA? How did you determine so early on that this was a targeted attack? Where was Maddie and Kaylee's food bag from the truck? Was it in the bedroom, in the living room, kitchen? Xana ordered DoorDash. What time was actually the order at? And from where, and where was the bag and the food? When did Jack D call or text back? What were the times? Did the DoorDash take a picture or did they drop off the food? Did the DoorDash give a description of the person that they gave the food to? Did they hand it to that person? Did he pick out this person out of a lineup? How did you find out about the DoorDash? Was there any DNA in the bag? You said that DM originally went to sleep in her room. Where did she end up sleeping then if she originally slept in her room? Did she go somewhere else to sleep? How did Dylan know that it was 4 a.m. and not 3 a.m. when she was woke? At 4 a.m., if Xana walks down to get her food and walks downstairs and walks back up, and then Xana has to walk from then her room at some point to the kitchen, and all of this walking back and forth, never once did Dylan see Xana or anybody. Does anybody have Apple products, Google products, where it actually like counts your steps? Is there any data like that? Were they wearing like any Apple watches or anything like that? So Xana was on TikTok at 4:12 a.m. making a TikTok post, and she commented "Queen" on someone's video at 4:12 a.m. And would you think that Xana was alive at 4:12 a.m.? And would you say that Ethan was alive then too, because they were in the same room? So then, in a matter of 4 minutes, they were both brutally stabbed by one person, one knife, in a matter of 4 minutes, and no screaming, nobody was able to call 911. That's when Dylan said she thought she heard crying, so she opened up the door, but she didn't really hear it. But then she actually heard it, so then she opened it again. So she got out of bed 3 times, right? Did you believe that story when you first heard it? Did you question it? In your investigation, did you find that any of these people owed anybody money? Stuff like that, you know. All right, guys, that's kind of stuff that you're looking at, and I think that I would never want the job that Ann Taylor has because I can't. You know, we don't know everything that happened, and I just would. Every day that I woke up, I would be wondering why I was spared. You know, it just, and then every day you're wondering, like, if I would have just done this, if I would have just done this. And so, how do you question a person like that? I just think that that's going to be very, very difficult. It's very, very sad. Thanks, there, Moonfish. This case is a complete dumpster fire. It's bad. Dr. Debbie Booth, Anna, thank you for all that you're doing. Yeah, I think that it's just way bigger than people think. It truly is, and I don't think that you have 48 FBI agents in Moscow, Idaho. Then it gets bumped to 60, and then you have the Idaho State Police that had 25, and then like 10 communication people, and then you had 25 of I mean, do you know how many people? Did you guys know that you cannot put chalk on your tires anymore? Like the police cannot chalk your tires anymore. It's against our Fourth Amendment rights. So, note to self that the police are no longer allowed to chalk your tires to possibly give you a parking ticket based off of time. So just wanted to let you guys know that it is against our Fourth Amendment rights. And so therefore Moscow does no longer chalks anybody's vehicles with their tires. Thank you there, William Mitchell. Thank you. So it's so if there's anybody out there, it's like it's nuts. So Moscow has moved to, you know, using more computerized ways to monitor parking in Moscow, Idaho, in case you wanted to know. Yep, so there's that. Lana, you need to get out there. Oh, wait, you know what I didn't show you guys is the video. Where's that video? Where's that video? She's just so sad. Okay. Let me share this with you guys before you guys jump off. Sorry, I meant to share this. Here you go. This is like right there at that corner of the. All right. See that? Look at that. This is the area. This is 95. This is what he was driving on, allegedly. Oh, let's go this way. What do I have here? Okay. There's that tower. Okay. That. Let's see. So that's that. And then, By the way, thank you guys for the emails. Appreciate reading them, and um, I do. I read them all. I zip through them. Um, I try to write back when I can. It's I'm getting like mounds of them. So know that I appreciate you. I have to give it to you. You do your homework. Thank you. I do. You guys, it's not about, I don't want BK to be innocent, you guys. This is about, I believe in our US Constitution. I believe in our rights. I believe in our rights. I would, if you wrong one man, you wrong us all. Okay. I've witnessed too many times that happen and people get railroaded. What's the problem with being innocent until proven guilty? That is how it is. That's, you would want the same, you'd want the same. And I believe that if you have the evidence, you are going to get your person. No questions asked. But when you got to do stuff that doesn't, if something's up, when something doesn't look right, like I said, when it smells like shit, looks like shit, it's shit. But I want everybody involved so this doesn't happen. If you just go and try to push something like this under the rug, okay, and we're going to have one part, then guess what? It's going to keep happening because you didn't, it's like, you know, if you don't pull the root out of something, it's just what going to stay there, come back. You got to get the root of the problem. I mean, how does somebody think they're going to walk into a house like that, stab 4 people, leave 2 people, okay, and walk out and not get caught, right? Well, in my opinion, if you really truly think about it, how was this person caught? So, somebody wanting anybody to be innocent. I want justice. If that was my baby doll, that was my son, if that sister, brother, mom, dad, I mean, come on. Would you want to be fed some lie? No. And I would also want to know if I was a resident in that area that I am safe. Like, or maybe what if you're a person in that area that's doing drugs and you don't realize that, oh shit, I was actually buying some stuff off of one of the girls. And like my name got somehow thrown into that. And it was just like a one-time thing. And now I have what? These type of drug dealer people after me or something, like to think that, like whatever the case may be. Don't know if it's drugs, don't know if it's, I mean, what gets you in trouble? What gets, if you think this was just like a dude that, a serial killer, well, yeah, you can think that. You have that right to think that, but I like to follow the evidence. And if someone tells me that 5 plus 5 equals 11, I'm not going to say, yeah, okay, that sounds great. I'm going to say, no, it doesn't. And so if I was on the jury and this is what you showed me, I'd have problems with it. If I'm a parent, which I am, I'd have problems with like not knowing the truth and not having everybody accountable for what? Political reasons? Get bent. So that's just me. Yeah, there you go. Justice for the victims. I mean, I look at everybody's, hey, you're innocent, so proven guilty. I'm trying to show everything as matter of fact. I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. Was Brian, fired and everything like that. You guys think about that. That should have never been released, ever been released. That is what you call, that's what the gag order is in place for. But more importantly, any of his student files, that's against like his rights. And it's going to get to the bottom of what the hell just happened with that. We don't even know if it's true, if it's not true, if somebody made this up. I don't know. But if you think that that's fair, they're doing everything that they can to have this man guilty before he is found guilty. Why? You don't need to. You do not need to. When you are that guilty, you don't need to. The evidence is there, and you go get him and you go nail him. But when you got to do all of this stuff that's going on and the secrecy and the Dylan slept on the first floor and nobody saw anything, and then you're trying to get stuff out of a house, and before you know that you're about to arrest somebody, you get a name, and then he has a way to launch it, but you don't ever call him up and question him, just like anybody else. Like, why? What's with the big thing with like, how did you get this name? And that's what tells me that it wasn't just, yeah, we're knocking down doors with white Elantras. There was way more that came with Brian Kohlberger's name. In my opinion, it was, here's point X. I'm giving you, here's your guy. Now, you can't use it the way that we're giving it to you, but here's your guy. Now fill in all the gaps to make it fit without using, X, Y, and Z, but here you go. Here's your name. Thank you there, Jan. Thank you there, Lulu. Now think about this. You want to know what kids do when they're scared? They're going to, okay, yeah, I'll say whatever. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble. Everyone, you know how quiet everybody's being right now? They don't want to get in trouble. I'm not saying a word. I'm not, you have all these kids on that campus not saying anything, not saying a word. They're not gagged. Thank you there, Dr. Debbie Booth. Yes, Innocence Project exists for a reason. It's just, you guys, there's a process. It's the justice system, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so why not just go through the justice system? But doing all this other stuff and, watch the beginning of this video. That little loop that they say happened, that is to a T, 1 hour and 5 minutes to 1 hour and 7 minutes. To a T. That's how long it takes to get from that 1122 king address to that point on that street in Pullman. That means no stopping. That means Brian didn't stop off. Like, where did he get rid of all the shit? Why hasn't there been a manhunt for this knife? Get the knife. Get the knife. Why isn't anybody talking about the damn knife? Go get the murder weapon. Get the murder weapon, and then you have, right? We can't find the murder weapon? Well, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. Well, you seem to have his path that he took, right? And there's only so much time he had to get back to that point that you said that that's that white Elantra. And when you do the math and you break it on down, you guys, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work. He's way past the point at 4:48 in the morning. He is peeing on a cell tower that is, it proves that he's back further. And that's the area actually I would be looking in, is the area before he obviously allegedly would turn on his phone. What's over there? Is there any bodies of water? And remember, he couldn't go that far because he has to be back on that camera to be that Elantra that's over in Pullman. But why aren't they on a manhunt? Why aren't they dragging, river? Like, you're telling me News Nation has been there for how many days? There's been no searches for this knife. You guys, it doesn't make any sense. You have all this manpower, you're not searching for the knife? Where's the knife? Nobody's talking about the damn murder weapon. Why? That's so crazy to me. What if the murder weapon, that knife, what if it doesn't fit in the sheath? What if the stab wounds can be proven that they're bigger than a knife that would fit in that sheath? What then? Touch DNA, that's all that there's there, off of some button. It is all crazy. Maybe there is no knife. Maybe, it's. You would just think that we would be seeing, there's been not a single report of a camera on any law enforcement or volunteers, like nothing, nobody, like, there is no footage of anybody searching for anything. They're not searching for the murder weapon. What, did they just chalk it up with that murder weapon's long gone? Would you be trying to cut a deal right now? Give us the murder, tell us where the murder weapon is, and we'll spare you your life. You want to give true closure to the families? Because I've been around the block here for a minute, and cases like this go on and on and on, even once there is a verdict. Okay? You want to give true closure? Get the murder weapon. I just can't believe that there's no there'd be coverage of them searching in an area. They wouldn't be able to keep it hush hush that they're out in this, 1,300 person unincorporated Blaine, whatever. So it's, find that murder weapon, get that murder weapon. That's what's going to give true justice to the victims and their families get that murder weapon. Again, thank you to all the mods for being here. Thank you for the subscribers being here, the members. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Don't forget, you guys, Valentine's Day is coming up. Make sure that you get your cutie patooties, mark it down. Make sure you guys use that Hallmark holiday to make someone feel special. Best mods on YouTube. They are the best. Remember, white elantras don't kill people. Mic drop in, Maple Beef, Jeremiah. Thank you there. Happy birthday. It's 12:01. Yeah, happy birthday to somebody. Thank you there, Heather. Appreciate that. Everyone have a drink for me. It's my birthday. Thank you guys for the super chats as well. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the fam there, William. Anybody else that snagged up a membership, I'll make sure that I do a live on Valentine's Day in case you are without a loved one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys make it great. You guys participating in chat's what it's about. Just getting by solo. There you go, Boston. We appreciate you all. We wouldn't be here without all of you. Yes. Oh, look at those hearts. New Orleans lady. Thank you there, Andrea. New Orleans lady. Loving it. Best chat ever. Duh, mic dropping. All right, guys. Again, go back and watch the beginning of this. I'm telling you the timeline. Sorry, nada. Now what I can see going down is when we get into those drug episodes. But till next time, guys. Good night. Floydie. Love you. You worked your ass off, Lana. Cheers. Yeah, woo. Boston. Kisses. Night, guys. Thank you, Lana, for being objective. Absolutely, always. Let's just be objective and when you do things for the right reasons and you do it the right way, it's called integrity. Till next time. Night, night.